Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. If you are live, hello. If you're a replay viewer, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Today we are going to talk about how can our parents, grandparents help with the diagnosis. If you get an autism diagnosis or some other kind of neurodiverse diagnosis for your children, how can the grandparents kind of get involved or other extended family in a positive way? And so if you have any grandparents that may or may not be struggling with this scenario, why don't you go ahead and up in the upper right-hand corner, invite them to the broadcast so that they can also learn from some of these great value bombs we're dropping down. So before we go on, hi, Melissa. How are you today? Thanks for coming in. My name is Jackie Schwab. I am the reluctant ringmaster for your caregiving circus. And I come on every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. to just kind of give you some tips and tricks for those of you who either are dealing with the autism diagnosis or other neurotypical or neuroatypical disorders or children with disabilities, and just kind of help you getting through that. So welcome, and let me get right to the goodies. All right, so first tip for grandparents or other extended family with relation to an autism diagnosis is put the judgment aside. It's really a very difficult thing to raise a child, period, right? It's super hard to be a parent. And we're already getting judged from all of our peers and other moms at school and somebody in the play group and the crunchy mom versus the working mom stuff. We really, really don't need mom and dad doing that to us or grandma and grandpa doing that to their grandkids. So please, 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 guys, put the judgment aside. We think we know best. We may not know best, but you might not either if you weren't the parent of an autistic child. So as we seek out support and services and try out new things, cut us some slack and try to postpone your judgment. That would be really cool. All right, so number 2, take some time to learn about the diagnosis. I mean, we as parents, we're like diving in, right? We're looking at the autism parenting magazines. We're looking at Autism Southeastern Wisconsin or the Autism Society period, maybe Autism Speaks, all those same types of things for Down syndrome, if you have multiple sclerosis, all those places are great resources for you to also learn about what's going on with your grandkiddo. And it is important that you actually understand as well, especially for like a really odd example is our daughter right now. She's really smart and she's a stinkerpotamus, but she's super, super smart. So she is manipulating her teachers a little bit, right? She knows that if she runs out of the classroom and she runs down the hallway, the 5th grade teacher thinks she's adorable and will hug and snuggle her to pieces. And she loves snuggles, right? But it's a huge reward for her, right? Running out of a classroom and taking a little trip down the hall is not a behavior that teachers want, right? It's not a behavior they want, but they're rewarding that behavior by giving her loves and snuggles. So I know that because I've done a lot of work with ABA and Iriis and all of this extinction, correction, those types of things. But if I wouldn't have learned about it, I wouldn't have known it. Now, as a grandparent, maybe you're like, well, what's the big deal with the teacher giving her a hug? Well, you guys don't want her to have hugs? She's already weird. She already doesn't have friends. Nobody likes her. She's not social. Yeah, come on, guys. Like, we get it. We get, that we've got a unique situation. That's totally not helping. See, number 1, postpone judgment. So number 2 is learn a little bit about it so that maybe you can be helpful with your insight, or maybe you know a really cool extinction method or Iriis method or positive reinforcement method. But the other stuff's not really helping. All right, and number 3, please, please, please. Absolutely. So our friend Melissa, who's joined our broadcast, as she's on live, she said, everyone needs to be on the same page. Absolutely, absolutely. And not just the people that are living in the home. So Melissa's actually a very good friend of mine, so it's cool that she's on here. But even people who are an extended part of your family, which I would consider her, we used to send the kids over to visit her a couple times a week. And when we sent the kids over there, she had to be on the same page as us too, right? Even though she was kind of babysitting or the family friend scenario, So it's really important that everyone in the care team, in your environment, in those you love, all of them are on the same page. Absolutely. And the very last one that I'm going to give you today, I'll be putting more out on Patreon, is ask how you can help. We might not always know, like we might not be able to go, oh my gosh, if you would just. A lot of times the help that we need is not explicitly maybe with the caring or caregiving of the person that we're working with. It's other things, like helping catch up with laundry, like your grandparent, you can totally help with that maybe, or helping the kids learn how to make their bed, or maybe taking one of the other kids to see a movie so they get some special time, or things. Just think outside the box a little bit. And so ask us how you can help, or just tell us how you can help, but not how we should do things, right? So maybe it's like all those other things I just said, maybe it's like, hey guys, we're coming over. We know you guys have been really busy. We were going to go get some ice cream. How about we take Billy Bob with us to get some ice cream so you guys can spend some time with, Susie Q. That would be great. Actually, super helpful. Really very, very helpful, because all of our children are so important to us, but not all of them always get time with us. So, and thanks, Melissa. Before I pop out of here, last comment was, it takes a village. Absolutely. And that goes for all kids, right? It goes for 2-legged kids and 4-legged kids. It goes for all of our families, all of our circuses that we're trying to work through. It takes all of us to make it work. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I'm Jackie Schwab, the reluctant ringmaster for our caregiving circus. I appreciate all y'all coming, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.